All right, hey guys, Jason here. We're back out here. We're actually hunting right now. And I got a feeling we're about to get dumped on with a thunderstorm, and we are 3.1 miles from my truck. And I got a feeling it's going to be miserable. So we're getting ready to turn around and hunt our way back. Like I said, I got a feeling I'm going to get soaked. But we want to talk real quick while we're here about snakes. Snake season is here. It is April 2nd, and it is literally 90 degrees. I'm surprised we have not seen one yet, but right here at the spot I'm at, we kind of got all the environments of things. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the environments. Think about the patterns and the colors that snakes have on them. Take, for example, the cottonmouth. Mostly black, sometimes, and it depends on where they are, lighter colored. You can see their signs, their designs. I'll show you some examples of cottonmouth. But cottonmouth, this is pure cottonmouth country right here. They are an aquatic snake. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't find one a quarter mile in there, because you can. Bigger, especially bigger cottonmouths, they'll get out of being in here chasing frogs and tadpoles and little fish and stuff like that, and they'll start working more for squirrels and things of that nature, and they'll head in deeper. But typically, this is cottonmouth country right here. So with cottonmouths, there'll be, you can see them swimming sometimes, but usually they're going to be resting up right like on something like this. They'll be balled up right there, coiled up, sitting there chilling, basking in the sun. You can see them in some of the craziest places, but they'll rest up in these kind of things here and just chill and be sitting here. Now, for example, you might be walking through here like I am through this swamp, and you might, like that, feel like you're going to stumble, and you might reach over and try and grab a hold of that cypress knee to hold you up. There could be a snake sitting right there, chilling right here, waiting for a frog or anything to swim by, and he strikes you in the hand. A lot of bites happen in the hands. Keep your hands to yourself. But this is the kind of stuff that's cottonmouth country right here. This is where they like to be, is in these environments, set up in any one of these little spots in an ambush position or in a sun position. Also notice that there could very well be a perfect place for a cottonmouth to be chilling right there, sitting right in there, and you come walking around and his head's laying right there. You're in trouble. Snake boots are great, don't get me wrong, but they're not a be-all, end-all, save-all. Same with on a log. Something like this could be cottonmouths anywhere in here. I could be walking through right here and step right through here, and a cottonmouth being right there could launch and hit me way above the boot very easily. So you have to pay attention to your surrounding environment when you're out here walking through this stuff so that you're going to be safe. It's mandatory. Now keep in mind also, there are way more non-venomous snakes that look like venomous snakes than there is actually venomous snakes. But they're also usually a lot bigger. You get a big Nerodia water snake in here, banded or common water snake, and it takes off, it's going to freak you out. They're massive in size sometimes. You got to know what you're looking for. But even here, I go to step here to get out of this. Could be a snake anywhere. A cottonmouth coiled up right in these branches right here, just chilling right here up high off the ground to get dry and soak up the sun. So this is the reality of them. Okay, they're here, and you got to pay attention. How do you beat a cottonmouth? Like this. Look, step. Look, step. You do the best you can to avoid stepping on them by paying attention and going slow. Now we're leaving this, getting out of this creek. Now we're coming into the transition zone. This here is Copperhead and timber rattler zone right in here. This heavy brush. There's a reason that down here they're called cane brakes, because they're in the thick brush. They're in this kind of stuff. And you can see them anywhere. But this type of environment we have right here is perfect Copperhead and timber rattler environment. And the more brushy like that, the better. They like these kind of places because this is where a lot of rodent and squirrel activity is, as those squirrels go from oak tree to oak tree to oak tree, and they move through this stuff like this right here. This kind of stuff is very easy place to find a timber rattler rolled up in here, and they're very hard to see. They blend in incredibly well, so you have to be careful. How do you beat them? Same thing. Pay attention to where you step. Look around, then take your step. Go slow. That's basically it. They're not everywhere, and they're not behind every tree, and they're not trying to kill you. They don't want nothing to do with you. Of all the snakes I've seen down here, which is probably pushing 200 down, 150-ish, 200, since I've been down here, even before I lived here. Remember, I came down here and hunted for 5 years a lot before I moved here. I've never seen a snake want anything to ever do with you. Even if you think they're charging at you because they're coming in your direction, they aren't coming for you. They are trying to get by you because you are standing between them and the cover they want to get to. They want nothing to do with you. Just give them some space. The best way to not get hit by a venomous snake is don't step on them. Don't step on them and you won't have a problem. But this country here is your copperhead and your timber rattler. Now again, you can find them anywhere. But typically they are in the brushier edges in these kind of zones, in these environments. This is where they like to thrive because that's where the rodents like to thrive. Now, we hear the age-old fact all the time about logs, okay? Logs is legit. When you find a log like this one right here, when you find a log like this, and people walk over them and they're going to come right here and they're going to step over this log, there could be a snake on the back side of that. So you'll see people, they'll even kick it, give it a little heads up, let them know, but they'll step over this log like this, okay? It's kind of tricky. Your best bet is to actually step on it and look over it and then step out past it. Gives you more security purpose rather than stepping over. And keep in mind, snakes, all snakes, have to thermoregulate. If it is in the temperatures are in the 70s and 80s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and you have sun out, they're going to usually be on the sunny side of the log trying to warm up and take the heat from the log and take the sun hitting them to their advantage. If it's hotter than that, they'll be on the shady side trying to cool themselves down. It's a trick that they do because they have to thermoregulate. Now, once you exit all this brush country here and all this kind of... I think we just jumped something. Hold on. I don't see anything moving, but I heard it could have just been a branch falling. But once you get up into there, see all that stuff out there? I'm going to zoom you. We'll walk over there and see. We'll go look, actually. Let's do it. But when it comes to these snakes, like I said, key thing is just take your time. Do not be afraid of this. And just take your time through here and pay attention. But you could walk through here thinking you're safe and it could be rolled up right in here. Okay, it's just life. Okay, it's like life for anything else. There is no guarantees that you're not going to run into a problem with them. Okay, it just doesn't work that way. There is no guarantee. Now, once we start getting into this stuff over here, we start getting into a whole different ball game. And that is going to be your diamondback country for your rattlesnakes. Now, also in this area, in here, where we have and again, any snake can be anywhere. It's just things to think about. Pygmy rattlers are all over in here as well too. Pygmy rattlers are the ones that are very hard to see, and when they get you, you're not going to be happy. They are very small but very potent rattlesnake, and they are all over. But see here, we're getting into these stump holes. Things like this. See how this stump hole here is? See this? Look at. Let's actually check this before I do. See that hole right there? That's a snake. That's where snakes like to go. That's timber rattlers. That's copperheads. That's pygmies. That kind of stuff. They like these little pockets that they can drop into, where they can get underground and get away from people, and they take advantage of that kind of stuff. So you got to be on your toes and paying attention. Now, as we get up into this higher ground that we're seeing here, you start getting up into this higher sandy soil up here, and you start getting into gopher tortoise country. That's where you start getting into diamondback country, or eastern diamondbacks, big diamondback rattlesnakes. They like this sort of stuff, where they can use those burrows from gopher tortoises as a home. They have this good country up here, that's that sandy soil that they can maneuver through. They hunt squirrels up there and rodents like crazy, and they have a great time. It's a perfect setup. These snakes are not bad. We want them here. We need them. But it is important that you understand what you're looking for and how to beat them and how to not get hit by them. Also, see these little pockets, these little flood spots, these puddles? These, when they trap, if they are close like that to the river that's right over there, when that river floods in, a lot of times these will trap tadpoles, stuff like that in here, and you could literally walk up to one of these just out here randomly like this, and you could very easily see 10 cottonmouths spread around this thing as they're hanging out here trying to catch the tadpoles that are left flopping around and floating in here, and any little fish and anything that's in here, because they're stuck here. They came in from the river, flooded in, and now they're pinned in here, and you'll have those snakes A lot of them hanging out in these places. So these are things you want to take into consideration. But like I said, we got all here. Diamondback rattlesnake country up there. Cottonmouth here. Cottonmouth there. Timbers. Pygmies. And you also have your copperheads in there. And then you also have, which we never pretty much see, but you got a coral snake as well too. And you got to keep an eye out for gators. So it's a whole different ball game. Get yourself a pair of snake boots. Even if you don't think you need them, put on your snake boots. Wear snake boots. They're going to help you. If you are very uncomfortable or you think you're going to be in brush country like this and you're going to be busting through this stuff and out there and that kind of thing, or walking through real thick things like this, you know, I can't tell you how many times I have to trail hogs through, like literally walking right through here. And when I do that, I can't tell you how many times I wish I had a set of chaps. Just in case, because like I said, a lot of times those snakes will get up off the ground. They might only be 1.5 feet high, but so what? Your boots are only 1.5 feet high. If he's 1.5 feet high off there, your snake boots aren't helping you. So chaps come very handy. So there's methods and there's ways to deal with these things, but the key is don't let them stop you from having fun. Don't let them ruin your hunt. Just be aware and pay attention to them and take your time. Now, there's also other people that'll tell you, you know, I've been in Georgia my whole life. I've never seen a snake. Never seen a snake here. And that's good, and I understand that. All I can do is base it on the experience that I have had and what I have seen. And maybe I'm just stupid and going to the wrong places at the wrong times. I don't know. But I see a lot of snakes. I see a lot of snakes. And now also keep in mind that people think that spring is worse for them. Spring is not worse, not even a little bit. Now you'll see more in spring than you do in winter. And you'll see more in spring than you do in summer, because when it gets so hot, they don't come out till after dark. It's too hot for them. You know, when you start getting 100 degrees, they need to cool down somewhere and not be out in it. So then, you know, but fall, deer season is the worst. September and October, and even into November, I see more venomous snakes than any other time down here. Like I said, spring turkey season starts Saturday. That one can be a little tricky too, but the worst is the deer season, fall deer season. So keep that in mind, but just be cautious, pay attention. Every year, hundreds of people are bit by venomous snakes. Hundreds. Not one, not two, not three, hundreds. And a venomous snake bite is not as simple as go to the doctors and get a shot and then you're done. It doesn't work that way. Okay, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars of anti-venom in doctor bills is what it relates to. And also, if you happen to be hit by if you happen to be hit by something that's more potent, a timber, eastern diamondback, a pygmy, you get hit by one of those, there's very high odds that it is life-altering complications for the rest of your life, depending on where you're hit. Okay, those snakes packing up timber fits in there too, but you get hit by one of these potent snakes, there is a potential for you to not rebound from it ever. You know, it will, you know, you'll survive, but it'll have lasting nerve damage, lasting muscle tissue damage, things of that nature. It is nothing you want to play with and nothing you want to joke around with. So take your time, move slow, pay attention when you're coming through this stuff. Again, this is prime. When you get this mix where you start getting on the edge of pine, hardwoods, brush country, things like this is prime. Like this just screams to me timber rattler world right here. This is timbers right there. See that? Now that's a house for a timber. That's a house for a timber. That kind of stuff. This is where they are. And you'll walk right through here and he'll be rolled up right here waiting for a squirrel to walk the same path you are. And you won't even know they're there. And half the time, because we are in hog country, they don't rattle. They don't rattle because if they rattle, the hogs eat them. It's kind of they realize this, so you don't even hear them or know they're there. I can't tell you how many snakes I've walked by that I didn't even know were there, because I don't know, but I'm sure it's a ton of them. So just pay attention, be careful out here, enjoy yourself, don't let it stop you, just be smart. And again, go slow and pay attention and keep your hands to yourself. Okay, I can't emphasize that enough. If you look at the ratio of bites that happen, which gone, Georgia Outdoor Network publishes information on this stuff. The amount of bites that happen on hands is astronomical compared to the bites that happen on the other place, because people will put their hands into places that they shouldn't, not realizing that there's a snake there. So pay attention, be careful, be cautious, have fun. Questions, comments, put them down below. Thanks for watching.